What's up, dude?
What's up?
Thanks for having us in
Thank
your
you
home.
for having. Yes, thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
So we're gonna talk about like what you're doing and your art and all this good
Yeah.
stuff. You have like a series that you're doing for Black History Month or Black Women, right? Tell me about
Black
it.
History. I wanted to. I normally don't do things when like for Black History, for Women's Month, for all Valentine's Day. I usually don't do art based off of those things, but I think just being back in school and getting back into history and reading more and doing those things like just has brought me closer to my own history, and I felt it more important this year to just highlight women who may have been recognized but not quite for the things that they did to contribute like on a large scale. So yeah, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Is there like specific characters or something specific that really inspired? I know you talked about the classes, but is there like something specific, a specific class or a specific person that really was like, ooh, kind of turned the light on for you?
I think when I started I really had to do research on these women, because when you think about, I wanted to do 28 women for every day of February.
Ooh.
So when you think about 28 different, Black history contributors, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And we really don't we hear about MLK, we hear about, Rosa Parks, Coretta Scott King, maybe. But that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And we have one person that was crazy to me was Henrietta Lacks. And she was a woman, I think in like the 40s or so. She had cancer, she went to the doctor, and they found out that they could, her cells would stay alive outside of her body.
Whoa.
Which was unlike anybody else.
That's crazy.
And they were able to duplicate her cells, but didn't tell her. She ended up dying. They didn't tell her family. So they kept duplicating her cells. Her cells were going everywhere over the U.S. They even were, overseas. So
like for experiments and stuff like that?
So they were doing cancer research. So she was
crazy.
really known to be the kind of the birth of all these cancer research and everything like
That's
that.
amazing.
But we would never know.
No.
And they ended up telling her family about like 10 or 15 years later.
That's nuts.
Didn't give them any money. They didn't. It's crazy. So just things like that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wild. Yeah.
So how many pieces are you actually doing, or are you committing to the 28?
I did 28.
You did 28?
I did 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to do all those? Or how fast do you work as an artist?
I did watercolors for this, which is, I usually do acrylic and oil. So this was a lot quicker of a process, and each piece usually took about 3 or 4 hours to complete the whole thing. So do that math. No, but it took probably like a month.
Yeah.
3 to 4 weeks. I'm just getting it in. I think
dope.
the hardest part was finding the information.
About
Finding
them.
the people, yeah. And then,
That is such a cool way to like learn about history, like through art.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
dope. Is there like artists that have inspired you? Like I know we were talking earlier and you said you've been doing art since you were like a little kid, but is there specific people who inspire you in like the art that you do?
Well, I have a mentor, Milton Bowens, and he's out of Oakland actually. And I met him probably about 3 years ago, and he was the reason I got my first show at the Brick House. Really, I dedicate my career to him because he really got it started. But he is a huge inspiration because all of his work is based around Black history. He has something to say in everything he writes. So he does a lot more of texts and a lot more words and kind of collages in a way. But he definitely shows you history and everything. So I've kind of used his example moving forward.
Dope. Yeah. Is there like a piece that you love above all others in your collection? I know it's probably really hard. It's like asking like your favorite kid or something.
It is hard. It's super hard. And it you know what? I couldn't say.
No.
Honestly, this Pam Grier above me is like usually I want it in my room, but that might be my favorite.
This one here?
That might be my favorite. Just because she's just like just bad.
Embody
you know what
so
I
many
mean?
dope. Yes.
Yes, and everybody can relate, and just beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
So at the moment, she'll
this
be
is
my
your-
favorite.
for
but
sure.
That might change.
Subject
next
to change,
month, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I heard that you are into like people communicating through their art, and that's a big thing for you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that for me, it's taken a while for me to be comfortable just expressing myself and being able to verbalize that. Even though I can maybe alone, I can really get deep. But when I'm in front of people, it's like it just goes blank. You know what I mean?
I do. Are you an introvert then? Are you like
I feel
introvert,
like
extrovert?
I'm both.
Yeah.
In ways, but I feel like I lean more towards being introverted. I know how to be good in crowds, but I think I prefer being alone. And, so art has definitely been a way for me to, on my own, be able to figure out what my thoughts are, what do I want to say, and then put it there. And then you can, get what you want from that.
Yeah.
But I don't have to, figure it out when I'm speaking with you. So.
Right. You can kind of go through that process as you paint, right?
Yeah.
So in talking about that, do you have when you paint, do you have okay, this is what I'm gonna create, or do you kind of just go with it and just let yourself organically create something, or maybe a little bit of both?
I have something in mind every time, but in a way it's both, because I might think I know what I want to do, but maybe it's the background, or maybe it's the colors I use, or maybe it's some extra little details that I want to throw in that once I complete what I think is complete, then I'm like, oh, it needs just a little bit more, it needs this or whatever. So I try to get in there with some type of outline, some type of rough
What it
draft
is
in
that
my
you want to
mind
convey, right?
Yeah, but it ends up being something different every time,
Is there a theme that you would say in general around the type of art that you create?
I think I've definitely gravitated towards women just from the very beginning, and it's interesting. I think my parents were like, "Why is she always
Is
all these
she
naked women?"
what she trying to tell? That's so funny.
And no, for real. And so, and I also felt really uncomfortable about that, because people would look at me and be like, "Well, do you like women?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a woman. Why wouldn't I, choose to celebrate? Where I come from.
Femininity,
and everybody
right?
comes from at that. So,
No doubt.
but I think definitely women empowerment is my theme. And as a woman and being a Black woman, it's just, those are two groups that are, misrepresented and, I think underappreciated. So I just try to basically just celebrate those people in everything that I do.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I can a few things come to mind, but the fact that you get to, through your art, represent an image in the way that you want, right?
Yeah,
that's dope. Let's see. So it sounds like art's really kind of a therapeutic thing for you. Is that right?
It is, definitely.
And you're into art therapy, or you want to get into art therapy?
I'm going to school for that.
Oh,
actually,
I was going to ask you where you're going to school for.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'm a studio art major, but I'm going to go back to school for a psychology master's degree, and then I want to work with kids. I think that's really important, and I think therapy is looked at as kind of it's still kind of taboo, especially for the Black community. So
yeah,
I want to be able to reach out and heal people in a different way, not necessarily tell me your problems, because some people can't verbalize those things. So
right, right,
just a more creative way to do that.
Yeah, that they can express themselves without, like you said, necessarily having to express it in words
or feel pressure about it. You know what I mean?
So would you say there's a certain freedom then in right?
Yes, you can create, literally you can create your own reality. And I really that's what I love so much about it. It's you can, whether it's a canvas or you're creating a mural outside in the world, you're just creating your own whatever you want out of this thing, you know what I mean, out of nothing. So I think that's just really pretty.
Yeah,
really
I've always been super down. Like, that's one thing I really love about art is, like, this whole transition from nothing to something, you know, and from that something to, like, everything. Like, it can represent whatever, and you can... I know you just said that you wanted to, well, before we started, that you wanted to start incorporating some words into your art. Why?
Just because, although I'm definitely visual, I see it, and, like, I can, you know, go far with just a vision. A lot of people, it doesn't hit them the same. And, you know, for some people, if you give, like, a simple phrase, like, it's just like, oh, wow. Like, it just, you know, everybody is a different type of learner, a different type of observer. So just being able to kind of bring that message
Connect
home
the
to
dots.
everybody. Yeah. I want to just, and I know art for a lot of people, I just because I love it, I feel like everybody's going to love it. You know what I mean? And I don't know why.
I know, I feel that way about yoga, but...
And then you feel offended or something if they don't. And it took me a while to figure out, like, you know, not everybody's going to love it, but just incorporating different things to it to where I can connect that gap a little bit more and bring people in a little bit more.
Through understanding, right?
Yeah, by just kind of reaching out a little bit more. Adding different elements and things like that.
Being that, like, your art does have a certain style, a certain empowerment around, you know, Black women, etc. Have you gotten any, like, resistance, any pushback?
That is a good question. No, not that I know of.
Okay.
At least.
Maybe, like, they're
I
silently...
might have silent haters.
They are out there.
Sure, I have some silent haters. No, but I think that because I think you can tell from my paintings just in like an air of just positivity. So if you're hating on that, it's just you're hating on positive shit.
You gotta fix yourself.
You gotta fix yourself. So I think no pushback at all.
That's
good.
Lot
of love, a lot of really, you know, good feedback.
That's good.
Yeah.
With silent haters, I'm sure you have silent lovers, because I had peeped you on Instagram too, and I was like, man, this is dope. So it was great to actually meet you in person. Your energy is dope, and reflected through your art. Yeah, I'm just like inspired just looking at the images. I feel like your work is really like striking. Like, I walk by it and I'm like, ooh, I need to look at this for a little while.
You're saying, like, that's the best thing you could say about it, honestly.
There's like layers, right? In your art, would you say?
I mean, I feel like as time goes on and as I kind of gain more of that, or just tap into my own layers, you know what I mean? Like, and get deeper within myself, those messages will come out in my art. So I feel like, like when I first started, it was more about just getting that skill, getting better. And so now it's
technique,
more,
right?
Right, technique. You want it to, I didn't want to present it to the world and it be something that just anybody could do.
Right.
But now that,
I like that.
Now that I have I mean, obviously I'm always trying to get better, but I have a more firm grasp on like how to, create certain things. So now I can get on, okay, what do I want to say? What do I want people to take away from this?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's dope. Once you have those fundamentals, then you can get like
a concept, you know?
You can get more creative.
Yeah.
Now, you said like some of the work that you do is like future and past and kind of combining elements. What is your like inspiration for that, or why?
Well, I have a love for the 70s.
Me
a passion for the 70s. And you might be able to, you know, just like I think for me, the 70s and the women specifically of the 70s and just that time for Black America, like, was more natural, more embracing oneself, and that helped me just be okay with my natural hair and kind of, you know, my style, and it just helped me love myself more, you know what I mean, and just appreciate myself more. So that's the past, and that's through just like getting that from the past. It helps me with the present, helps me with the future. So it all comes together, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to like look back in history and look back to what people were doing before, and
Yeah.
you know, try to get some questions answered that way as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of answers in the past. I mean, they say history repeats itself, right? I mean, although we do evolve and all of that, there's so much that we can draw on from the past.
Yeah.
I have a big love for the 70s too. Like, my soul is totally a 70s soul. So I know, like, these paintings here for sure are just like, have that vibe.
Yeah.
So, what else is important for people to know about your art?
I feel like I feel like I'm pretty simple. I think that other than my love for the 70s, other than like, obviously, I think I'm just, because I'm representing for women and for Black people, people of color in general, and just positive images of people, empowerment. Other than, like, there's nothing else that needs to be said other than that. But I'm really for just representing my folks.
Yes.
You know, and keeping them with me and moving forward together in progress and empowerment. And so that's really what's most important for me.
That's dope.
So,
yeah. Representation, like, matters.
It's everything.
So
really.
much. To be able to see yourself in something, right? That's so important. Dope. Yeah.
You like that?
I love it. I really feel like I need one of these pieces in my house. Like,
yes, you do. Everybody does. Yes.
Where is your art? Like, is there a place for it? Where can people look for it? Where can they find it?
Well, it's always online. Artbyaleah.com.
Okay.
Aaliyah,
like how?
A-L-I-Y-A-H.
Okay.
Everything's Art by Aaliyah. I'm on Twitter, but barely.
I know,
but
me
we can get that going if people want to.
If they want to talk about it.
Like, you can get on there, Instagram, Facebook, and then artbyaleah.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that's where they can see, like, all your paintings and stuff.
Right. I will. I'm trying to get a show together, a blaxploitation series show. At the end of the year, I don't have a specific date. Somewhere between October and December. So if they are on my website, get on that email list so I can update you on that stuff.
Yeah.
Let you know when I got new stuff coming out, or new events, where I'm gonna be at for the month, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah. What is, like, a couple other questions come to mind. As an artist, like, what is kind of, where would you love to see yourself, or who would you love to collaborate with, or, like, be featured in their space, or like, what would be, like, the dream, like, for you?
God, I mean, there's so many
dreams.
There's so many people, so many dreams. I don't know. I haven't, like, focused too much on, like, people specifically. I don't know. I think that's that introverted thing. Like, I guess I'm just not worried about other people, but I think more so, like, places and spaces. Definitely the ultimate goal is just to have, I want to have my art in every major museum around the world. So I want to be in the MoMA. First of all, I need to get in the Crocker.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Crocker, can we talk to Art by Aaliyah, please?
I need to have an exhibition at Crocker. So
yes.
That's first goal.
I'm here for that.
Let's manifest it.
Let's manifest it.
This is that moment.
This is it.
Look back on it and be like,
I remember when we did that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
Crocker first and foremost. That's the thing too, is, like, I feel like Sacramento is kind of this great place for up and coming people, because it's small enough to where you can make a name for yourself, but also, like, rising on the scene to where if you can kind of conquer this city, you can get on the map in a way that can expand you. So let's conquer the city.
Let's conquer the damn city. Yes. I love it. Yeah.
That's what's up.
We will.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first. Angie and Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
I love it.
Was that good?
I was good. I was gonna say.